Hello and welcome to this step-by-step training on buying pre-construction in Alberta, specifically Calgary. Okay, so there's a lot of questions about what is the actual buying process? Why should you buy pre-construction? What are some things you have to know about before buying pre-construction? And what are the different investment types, investment strategies? So essentially a full breakdown on everything you need to know before purchasing a pre-construction property in Calgary. So what are we going to cover? First of all, we are going to look at why should you actually buy pre-construction? Is it right for you? And what's the difference between this and resale? We're going to look at the Calgary real estate market. So we're going to first understand the Calgary real estate market. Then we're going to look at what makes a good pre-construction investment. So what's the criteria that we look for in order to identify a good investment? And then we're going to go over the step-by-step purchasing process. So what does it look like when you're actually buying a pre-construction property? Okay, before we dive into all of that, I want to start by quickly saying who New Homes Alberta is, who am I, and that we are more than just real estate agents, okay? So my name is Joshua Clark. I'm a realtor and co-founder of New Homes Alberta, and I'm the head of marketing. So I founded an international real estate marketing agency in 2021, and I've sold millions of dollars worth of real estate worldwide, so I know what we're doing. We have Joel Johnson. He's a realtor co-founder as well of New Homes Alberta, and he's the head of sales. So Joel is a part of the third highest producing team at eXp Realty in Canada, and their team sold over $192 million in sales volume in 1 year, primarily in pre-construction. So he sold 900. Their team sold 900 or so pre-construction properties in 1 year. So very, very familiar with the processes. Mike Hale, realtor, former CPA and finance director. Mike spent half a decade working as a CPA for the government of Canada. So he learned the ins and outs of finances and can provide exceptional insight for clients in that regard. And then Lee Middleton, he's also a realtor and head of investment strategy. So Lee is a chartered investment manager and focuses on providing economic insights for real estate investors and for home buyers. So all very well versed in real estate, but primarily pre-construction. And most importantly, we're all born and raised in Alberta, and we live here currently. So our team is born and raised in Calgary specifically. And so we know the market because we grew up in this market. We will also never sell something ourselves that we would not buy. Way too often we see Toronto or out of province real estate agents trying to promote and sell Calgary real estate, but they don't know the area. I saw recently, we saw ads that were being run for Innisfail, or a small town that's about an hour away from Calgary, and people were promoting it as Calgary real estate. If I were to buy a property in a small town an hour away from Calgary thinking it was in Calgary, I would be so angry. So oftentimes we see agents trying to sell property because they think it's the right thing. They think it's a good project because the builder told them to sell it. However, you have to be very careful about knowing the market, knowing the areas, knowing the best communities as well, the communities that we look to live in, we want to invest in ourselves. Those are the communities that we're going to guide you towards, of course. Okay, so how can New Homes Alberta actually help you? So before we get into the pre-construction processes, I want to explain how New Homes Alberta can help you in your buying journey here. So why should you work with a real estate agent when buying from builders? This is a question we get all the time. First of all, I want to say that we do not represent the builder, we represent you. So our loyalty is always to you, and we have no preferences to builders since we work with all of them. So we maintain professional relationships with as many builders as possible so that we can get you the best price, incentives, deals, and more. Okay, so very important. We don't work for the builder, we work for you. Second is we're going to find projects, update the inventory, and get all the project details so you don't have to. Unlike resale properties, there's no central database for new homes and pre-construction projects. This makes it incredibly difficult to actually find the good properties before everyone else knows about them, and that's essential when it comes to buying pre-construction. So instead of having to call the builders for details and spend hours researching, allow our team to do that for you. We know the builders, we know the inventory, and we know the projects. The earlier you are, the better your deal. So there are hundreds of builders in the cities and new projects releasing every single day. The way that you get the best deals, incentives, and more is by investing early. Our team has our finger on all the projects coming to the city, and we will update you immediately. Think about it. Builders have incentives because they want to minimize risk when it comes to building their properties. So if they are just launching a new project, you're going to have the best price, the best incentives, and the more they sell, that price increases. Okay, so the earlier you get in, the better the price, the better the incentives and deals will be. Now, I also want to mention that we are a team born and raised in Calgary. We're in Calgary, Alberta as we speak. So we know all the top areas. We know the builders. We have relationships with them for half a decade here. 4, let us arrange your meetings and showings. So we will arrange meetings and showings with the builders so you don't have to do that. We'll call the builders, arrange meetings with the proper individuals, and make sure the builders are transparent and acting in your best interest and not their own. We're going to negotiate on your behalf. So we'll negotiate on your behalf. We know what builders typically will and won't accept, and we have relationships with these builders. So we're going to write the contracts and do all the paperwork that's needed to close the deal. We understand how builder contracts work. We will write up all the contracts and paperwork, and we'll ensure a smooth transaction for you. And most importantly, we do not cost you anything at all. If you're not aware, in Canada, the seller will pay for the real estate agent. So in this case, builders are going to pay out the real estate agents, not you. Now, in our case, we don't represent any one builder. Again, we are going to be representing you. So we work for free for you. You don't have to pay us anything. And we just want to make sure that you get the best deal and find exactly what you're looking for. So with our expertise, knowledge, and relationships, we're going to ensure that you have a smooth process. I also want to mention that builders are like car mechanics. If you go in for an oil change and you're expecting, say, spending $50 or $100 on just getting your oil change, often you will leave with a $1,000 plus bill, okay? So builders do the same. And that's why working with us, we're going to make sure you only are purchasing what you need. They're not sliding anything in the agreements. We know how they work. We know what to look for in these contracts, and we're going to guide you through the entire process from start to finish, okay? So next, why should you buy pre-construction? So what are the advantages to buying pre-construction properties? The first is you get a purchase at today's market value. So with pre-construction investing, you lock in the price for your property at today's market price. This means that you may have already made significant profit from market appreciation by the time you get possession of your unit. So what does this mean? Let me explain it a little bit more. So what if you bought a pre-construction home in 2021 and there's a possession date of 2024? So this means in 2021, you signed the agreement to purchase your property, you made your down payment, but you don't get possession until 2024. Well, the price in 2021 is what you're locking in at. So no matter what happens to the market, that's the price you're going to have to get financing and get your mortgage for when possession date comes, okay? So let's take a look. What if you bought a pre-construction in 2021 with a 2024 possession date? So the benchmark price in February 2021 for a home was $429,400 in Calgary. Now, the benchmark price in February 2024 is $567,900. So if you bought a pre-construction property in February 2021, it would have cost you this amount, but the value of it when you get possession, if the possession date was 2024, is now this amount. So this means that if you bought a pre-con property in February 2021 with possession date in February 2024, your home is now worth $138,000 more than when you bought it. So that's one of the biggest incentives or biggest reasons that investors like pre-construction, especially with a long possession date, is you maybe have gained a ton of value before you ever have to get a mortgage, before you ever have to get financing for that property. Let's also take a look at the future predictions of Calgary home prices. So as you saw, that was one of the main reasons investors buy. But looking forward, is it too late? Like, the market has gone up like crazy, as I'm sure you know, as we just showed. But the predictions are that's going to continue to go up. Okay, so you look at the markets like Toronto, Vancouver, all the other major markets, the home price is still way, way, way above Calgary. And experts think that Calgary is going to follow suit and eventually reach this similar levels to what they're currently at, right? So here are some of the predictions for the home market over the next couple of years. Now, the second reason that people love pre-construction is you can pay your down payment over time. So with pre-construction properties, you can make your payments over longer periods of time, and this can help investors manage their money better. So here's an example of a deposit structure for a pre-con property. Now, usually the deposit structure is going to be about 10% is what you need for your deposit. However, there is a rule across all of Canada. If you're purchasing a project for investment reasons, you have to pay 20% down. Okay, so if you plan on renting it out right away, the rules state that you have to make a 20% deposit in order to get that mortgage financing. Now, builders don't require you to have that, but that's what's required from the mortgage companies if you plan on using that as strictly an investment property. Okay, but now if you're doing residential, you can do 5% down, 10% down, depending on the project, depending on the builder. Okay, so an example of deposit structure for a pre-construction property would be 5% down with the offer, then perhaps 5% down in 30 days, or it may be 5% in 90 days, could be 5% in 180 days, or even 5% at occupancy. So usually this is about 10% deposit broken up in two different pages or payments at different stages. Okay. The third advantage is you can lock in your mortgage at better rates. So the mortgage rates are currently just under and around 5% in Calgary. However, the experts are predicting lower rates in the fall. With pre-construction, you do not need to lock in a mortgage until you are getting financing, which happens right before possession. In this case, you can wait a few months, lock in your rate when the time is right. So if you purchase a pre-construction unit for possession in 2026, you don't have to lock in at today's mortgage rate. You can wait at any time over the next 2 years and select when the mortgage rates are at the lowest and lock in at that rate. So that's a huge advantage too, is you don't have to purchase and stick with today's mortgage price. So fourth is incentives and early advantages. So there are some obvious advantages to buying pre-construction versus resale, such as first pricing, paying for the first and lowest price. So right when projects are launched, you get the lowest price typically. Again, this is to mitigate risk for the builders. They want to sell out so that there's no debt to them, right? So in order to do that, they're going to lower the price, they're going to have incentives, and they're going to try and get people to buy before anything is being built. The second is first appreciation. So appreciation right from the beginning. Again, this means you buy really early and then month to month as they're increasing the price of the units, which they do, you can see how much money you've already made when they start selling or when they go public to everyone else and when possession dates are coming. You also get to choose units based on a first come, first serve basis. The best investments go first, of course, right? So corner units, top floor units with the view, the best price units, all of these will be gone before the rest of the units. You also get to choose the layout and floor plan, so floor level and views that best fit your needs. So if you're early, you have endless options, and builders have different incentives such as rental guarantees, furniture packages, and more. Okay, so if you're early, maybe you'll have a 2-year rental guarantee, which means as soon as possession day comes, they're going to rent it out for you for 2 years. You don't have to do anything. There can be fully furnished options. There can be many different incentives to help sell more units. 5, is there's no bidding wars against other buyers. This is so underrated. So Calgary is currently a massive seller's market, and it projects to stay this way for the span of 2024. Pre-construction may be the key to purchasing your property unopposed and without having to pay more than market value. For example, last week we're actually selling a home in Airdrie, and it sold $30,000 over ask with no conditions, which means the market price, they're already paying a $30,000 premium. So anyone who wants that unit would have to have outbid them over $30,000. It's very competitive out there. With builders, the price is what it is. You get it at market value. Okay. 6th is you get to customize your house to your needs. So one of the best parts about new builds is the customization portion. You can design the house to your liking, tailoring the details to fit your needs and preferences. Of course, the amount of customization will vary from builder to builder. So if you buy a spec home, that means it's going to come as is, which will have limited customization. Again, the earlier you are, the more customizable it is. If the home is already being built and possession is in 1 month when you sign the contract, there's not much customization you can typically do. So you want to be early if you want to customize your units. Next, understanding the Calgary real estate market. So there are some things you have to know about investing in Calgary pre-construction. First, you have to invest in the right communities, okay? So I know there's agents who, for example, are living in Toronto trying to sell Calgary pre-construction projects. Drives me crazy, strictly for the client's sake, okay? I often see people promoting projects that are in terrible locations because they aren't familiar with the Calgary market. That's something you have to be very cautious about. So Calgary tends to work in terms of in west to east in terms of price. So west is more expensive and it gets cheaper the further east you go. Northwest, very expensive, close to the mountains, beautiful communities. Southwest, same thing, typically more expensive. Okay, so as you can see, the west average price is $702,000. That's right here. Then it goes northwest, which is an average price of $641,000. City center in the middle here, downtown, which is just under $600,000. Southeast, $574,000. South, which is all of this, is $566,000. North, $562,000. Northeast, $503,000, and east is $423,000. Now, things are changing in Calgary. East used to be considered kind of the more rundown area, but it's getting a lot better. So there actually is a lot of value in buying some properties in the east. It's really close to downtown, so the area location has a lot of potential. There just has been more rundown homes in the past. But knowing these things can allow you to find kind of hidden gems or up and coming communities and areas that have a lot of potential for appreciation, right? So the top communities in Calgary, which areas are and parts of the city make for the best investment? So Calgary West, again, as we kind of went over, city center, Calgary Northwest, Southeast, South, North, Northeast, and East. Okay. However, the reason this is here is because it's showing the 3-month change. So the Calgary East has actually gone up 6.3% in the last 3 months, which is more than any other area. And that's what I meant about how it's getting much better and they're building a lot more infrastructure and it's starting to increase faster than the other communities. Okay, so this is important to know. Now, what future developments are coming to Calgary? So what will the market do in the next couple of years? Well, there's some massive developments that are set to skyrocket Calgary's real estate market. Over $1 billion in infrastructure is coming to Calgary in 2024. So there's the Culture and Entertainment District, which is $600 million in city building and infrastructure to date. New Event Center. So the new event center will sit on 10 acres with an $18,000 seat arena that replaces the Saddledome. So this is the NHL arena. They're building a massive event center so they can host concerts, they can host a bunch of different shows, and a new NHL rink. You'll have an indoor and outdoor community plaza, an attached parkade, and future redevelopment site. So here you go. A lot of stuff coming. They're also building the Stampede grounds. They're actually building real infrastructure now. In previous years, during the Stampede, they just set up tents and they take it down. Now they're building full-time infrastructure. It's really walkable. Lots of cool shops, restaurants, bars coming to that area. BMO expansion. So a lot of really fun stuff is coming to increase the culture and economy of Calgary. They also have a booming tech sector. So traditionally, it was mostly oil and gas. Now they're really focusing on tech. So Amazon has a fulfillment center. Amazon opens first Canadian fulfillment center in Calgary. RBC Innovation Hub. There's Unity Labs. So the founder of Pokemon Go and tech giants moved to Calgary. So emphasis, Calgary will be Emphasis' first Canadian headquarters, which is expected to bring between 500 and 1,000 jobs. So a lot of really big tech companies are focusing in on Calgary. So why are they moving to Calgary? Why are the tech companies moving here? First, they're fleeing high taxes. So Alberta has the lowest corporate tax rate in Canada, the lowest land transfer tax and development charges, and it has no provincial sales tax. It has a low cost of living. So Alberta has the second lowest cost per living in the major Canadian cities and ninth across all of North America. And there's minimal red tape in Alberta. So government regulations, there's no rent control, and $175 million is committed to Alberta Enterprise Corp for innovation. So again, spark note, the advantages of Calgary over other Canadian cities: there's no rent control, there's no foreign buyer tax, there's minimal land transfer tax. It was at 0, but this just changed, but it's still very, very small. There's no provincial sales tax, no development charges, and $10 billion stimulus package, including lower corporate taxes, are coming to Alberta. So really good for investing in real estate compared to other locations in Canada. Plus, there's a lot coming that should stimulate the economy and continue that increasing market. So identifying a good pre-construction investment. What is the criteria that our team requires when we are looking at projects that we think would make a good investment? First, rentability. Being able to generate short-term income and rent your property is absolutely essential. Second is projected growth of the market. So are you buying in a place that has a high potential to increase in value? What are the future developments there? The third is the community score. So what is in the area? Schools, hospitals, grocery stores. How safe is the community and what is the amenities? And the walkability score. So how walkable is everything and is there near transit? Is there transit nearby? Fifth is what is the builder reputation and the product? Does the builder produce a high quality product and are they easy to work with? What past projects have they built? This is so important, okay? Some builders are very difficult to work with. Some will not honor, say, warranties or make it very difficult. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of things hidden in the contracts you have to be aware of, which we've dealt with for many years and we're very familiar with, okay? So certain builders we love working with, certain builders we completely try and avoid. So setting expectations about the current price points, this is so important, okay? People are misled to think that Calgary is still what it was 3-4 years ago. And agents in, say, Toronto who are not familiar with the Calgary market are still promoting those prices, giving false expectations for buyers looking to invest in Calgary, okay? So let's set some expectations. If you're looking for any condo in the 200s, first of all, it's incredibly hard to find brand new. If you do find them, and we do know some right now, so I know some down in Seton, down in the south, and different communities up north as well, you can find condos for about the $249,000 price point. This would get you a 1-bed, 1-bath, 500 to 600 square foot condo. Very small in a suburb. Okay, so that's the cheapest pre-construction you get in the entire city, in the mid 200s, maybe low 200s, but it's gonna be very small, 1-bed, 1-bath. Any condo with 2-bed, 2-bath will be in the mid to high 300s, especially if you're looking at a decent area, oftentimes low 400s. If you're looking at 3+ bedroom townhomes, you're looking at $450,000 minimum. Finding townhomes under $500,000 is becoming incredibly difficult. There's some that are 2 beds. There's some that are starting at $404,000, but they won't have a garage. They won't be in the best area. If you want a good investment property, you have to be willing to spend on an area that is going to appreciate, on an area that has high rentability, okay? So those are typically in the $500,000 range and up. Difficult to find in the 400s, although there are some out there. So freehold single-family homes are going to be in the mid 500,000s plus, okay? Now, what is the actual pre-construction purchasing process? So, step 1, project access. Makes sense. Step 2, reserving your unit. Step 3 is signing the purchase agreement. Step 4 is a condition period. And step 5 is you now have a firm deal. So I'm going to break this down step by step here. Project access. Perhaps one of the most important aspects of the process is selecting the right project. This will involve consultations with our team to make sure we find the perfect fit for you. The different types of projects we have access to include condo apartments, condo townhomes, freehold townhomes, semi-detached homes, and detached homes. Once you've chosen the ideal project, we will narrow down your selection for the best unit. Okay, so you first choose the project, then you have to choose the unit. This will include an area analysis, floor plan consult, price analysis, and discussion on how the project will fit within your budget. Second step, reserve that unit. So once a project and a unit is selected, we'll proceed with reserving the unit by submitting a worksheet or offer to the builder. So the information needed when reserving your unit will include the following: name, email, phone number, copy of IDs, driver's license or passport, your employer, and occupation. This will be for whoever is on the purchase contract. So depending on the builder, there may be a fee associated with reserving the unit before signing the agreement to purchase. Usually it's a $1,000 hold in order to take that unit off the market. And then you may have 24 hours to sign that purchase agreement or something along those lines, right? It'll vary between builders. Our team will guide you through this process and make sure all your questions are answered. Next is deposits. So the deposit structure per builder will vary, but we'll ensure that you are aware of all the deposits of your purchase. So the typical deposit structure will be 5 to 10% on signing with a pre-approval letter required. You're not always required to have a pre-approval letter, but it is common and it is also recommended. So we're going to work with you to ensure that we get the lowest amount of money down or extend the deposit structure as long as possible. So first you reserve, then you make your hold on your unit, and then you have to make your initial deposit. This will usually be upon signing. You have to make 5 to 10% of that deposit. Then you sign the purchase agreement. So once you receive your unit allocation and confirm you want to move forward with the purchase of your new home, it's time to sign. This can be done in person at the builder's sales office, or in most cases today via electronic signature. Each builder will have their own process and steps, and our team will be able to assist you through that process. At the time of signing, you will also need to submit or show proof of your initial deposit in the form of a bank draft. Some builders may allow for a later deposit, so we're going to work with you to meet all necessary deadlines. Then there's a 10-day recession period. So after you've signed that paper, there is 10 days for you to change your mind. Once you sign the agreement, you have 10 calendar cooling off period. The builder is required to give you this time to review your agreement and purchase decision. We recommend that you do the following during this period. A, have a lawyer review your agreement. A lawyer will read through the agreement and highlight any issues that may be of concern. B, get pre-approved by a mortgage broker. If there are any problems within 10 days, you'll be able to cancel that agreement with no penalty and you'll get a full refund. Okay? So very important during the 10-day recession. And again, we'll guide you through that process. Then the mortgage pre-approval. So when purchasing a new home, a mortgage pre-approval is a requirement in most to all cases. Now, this isn't necessarily true, but we do recommend it regardless, especially because there's no assignment in Alberta. Okay, so even the builders that say they have assignment, they don't really have assignments. There's fees to it. There's a lot of red tape to get through it. Builders do not want to use the assignment clause, which was very difficult to do. So we recommend you have a pre-approval just so that you're quite confident that you can get financing come possession day. Okay. So this is the first step when choosing to purchase a new home, even if you're not planning on getting a mortgage. The mortgage pre-approval provides the builder with current snapshot of your finances from a third party. Going through this process before making a purchase will provide you with a budget and price point you're comfortable with. Our team works with local mortgage brokers and will be able to assist you through this. Again, step by step, we can recommend people. We have mortgage brokers that we work with who are licensed in Ontario, in Alberta, in BC, and all over the place. So if you need help with this, please let us know and we're happy to walk you through it. Then you have a firm deal. So providing you are satisfied with the agreement and completed the initial deposit, the deal is going to go firm on the 11th day. The next steps will be to complete any remaining deposits on time and pick the upgrades for your unit. Picking upgrades are usually completed after construction has commenced. These upgrades choices are made through the builder and will be done at the builder's design center or virtually. Our team is always available for any insight into what upgrades should be purchased. So after that 10-day cooling period, the deal goes firm. So that's basically it. Now, I want to assure you that we provide a lot more than just being real estate agents as well. So I highly recommend you guys reach out to us after this, and don't go through the buying process by yourself. There's hundreds of different projects, hundreds of different builders. We have a team fully dedicated to finding all of these projects in the city. We know which ones are the best. We know which ones are in the best area. So don't waste your time by trying to find all this stuff online when we can help guide you through that. It's what we do full time. And again, you don't have to pay us anything. The builders, upon your purchase, would have to pay us. So it wouldn't even be you guys paying us. We're here to help you. Let us use our expertise. Okay. I also want to note that we have many services that we offer. We want to go beyond being just real estate agents for you. Okay. So we have omni-channel marketing. So if you're looking to sell your home, that's something that we do incredibly well also, is help you sell your home through our marketing services. So we pride ourselves in having some of the top real estate marketers in the industry. Sell your home fast, sell your home for the highest price, and create a bidding frenzy and drive thousands of eyes to your property. We have in-house videography. So for sellers and builders, we provide lifestyle videos, community highlight videos, drone and aerial photography, property and virtual tours, etc. Full real estate solutions. So there's so much more that goes into a real estate transaction. We provide a dedicated support team, comprehensive market analysis, specialized knowledge, and lifetime support. So we want to extend beyond just the contract and the purchase of the home. We will support you in any transaction, any questions you have at any point. If you need a contractor, if you need electrical, plumbing, you can reach out to us, and we have connections in the industry. And that ties into concierge services. So we want to make the buying process and selling process seamless. We offer relocation assistance, investing programs, upkeep and maintenance packages, and much, much more. Okay. So please reach out to us. We'd love to work with you. Hopefully this helped. And there's a lot to be careful about when buying pre-construction projects. There's also a lot of different investment strategies. So reach out to us and we can help find what the perfect strategy is for yourself. Thank you so much, and look forward to talking with you.